10 aspirants in the past weeks have been touring parts of the country, engaging delegates, party faithfuls, and interested stakeholders on their bid to lead the NPP into the 2024 polls. But before the main polls on November 4, they have to first be part of some 5 aspirants to be selected by a limited number of delegates. 961 of the delegates drawn across the country will on Saturday, August 26, take this decision. The polls are scheduled to take place at centralized locations in each of the 16 regions and another center at the national headquarters. 9 of the aspirants, excluding Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, previously opposed this, citing possible cases of intimidation. But with just a week to the polls, Citi News checks with the camps of the main contenders suggest that their concerns have been greatly addressed. The party recently, in a communique, released modalities including banning of the use of phones at the voting area and other measures to make it difficult to track the identity of a particular vote as means to prevent intimidation before and after the polls. For the campaign team of Alan Chematin, Dr. Efriye Akoto, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, these will help in making the polls credible.
The team is satisfied with the quality of the regulations for the conduct of the Super Delegates Conference. In particular, the provisions that give a lot of room for comfort for voters. So now, voters should be happy. Voters should be happy in the knowledge that their vote is safe and private. Everybody who is going in to vote is protected by the provisions in that their names will not be called out. They will walk in as random. They will vote with complex serial numbers. And after the vote is counted, the box will be sealed and brought to Accra.
At this point, if you look at the guidelines, it has captured all the key elements, and key amongst them is secrecy of vote. Secrecy of vote. And this is why the police is going to search everybody to make sure that there's no cameras or phones to go and snap who you voted for and so on and so forth. And this is why there's going to be the structures that have been put in place to make sure that the EC secures these ballots and bring it to the head office. This is the reason why people are not going to be allowed to bring macho men and influencers on the day of election to the place where these elections are taking place.
I mean, the Vice President's position on this election process is to focus on his campaign and selling his message to the voters and delivering the modalities, organization, and guidelines around the elections to the party and its leadership. Except in a situation where he believes that whatever guideline is being put in place would disenfranchise or would not make the process fair and transparent or would prevent a voter from being able to cast his vote. But so long as there's a guideline that enhances the process, makes the process more transparent, more accountable, he doesn't have any problem with that. And he's been very focused and consistent on his campaign.
Campaign team of Kennedy Ohinye Japan who also agree with the modalities, however say the last days of their campaign will be focused on educating the electorates on these modalities.
We are pretty much satisfied, except that we have to let the delegates know that they're not going to face a roll call. Nobody can trail them. We are not going to have, we will have a lot of the things such as alphanumeric type of the voting sheet so that nobody will be able to just go ahead and do that. There will be no telephones that will go inside. We have solved some of their concerns or most of their concerns. Right. There will be no regional intimidation, regional chairman, constituency chairman, or national coming around.
According to the delegates list from the NPP, the Ashanti region is the region with the highest number of delegates, with 119 delegates, followed by the Eastern region with 81 delegates, and Greater Accra region with 55 delegates. The regions with the least of delegates are Ahafo, Savannah, Northeast, and Oti regions, with 30 delegates each. The team of Dr. Efriye Akoto however, say they have some few unresolved issues with the album.
As far as we are concerned, there are still a few issues with the album, and we have raised the issues in the appropriate courts, and we are sure that it will be resolved in no time.
Are there any of the issues you may be willing to share with us?
No, these are not very wild issues. These have to do with the album, and therefore the right thing to do is to petition the elections committee, which we have done. And we've done several petitions. They responded positively to all of them, so we have no reason to doubt that they will not respond to this one.
As the campaign moves into the final days, the various aspirants are tightening their strategies. Kennedy Ohene Japan's team, who have been to 13 regions so far, are looking at visiting the other 3 and re-engaging delegates across the country.
We are left with only about a few, which is 3 regions, Upper East, Northern and Northeast. I mean, as of the time he came back from overseas, he has to deal with the issue of preparing himself for the super delegates. But of course, he's going to see them. He'll be traveling there to meet the relevant people who are going to vote for the super delegates. But we will continue our constituency tour immediately after, I think, the Monday will start the regions I've just mentioned to you.
Dr. Baumia's team, on the other hand, changed strategy from engaging all delegates to focusing on the super delegates.
So far, he's done 154 constituencies. 154 constituencies, and he did that in about 40 days across 5 regions: Greater Accra, Ashanti, Western, Central, and Eastern region. But that has been put on hold. The super delegates is in view now, is in focus now, and he has been doing that also since last Monday. He continues to engage the super delegates between now and the D-Day, which will be the election day on 26th of August.
Dr. Efiakoto's team says days leading to the polls will be focused on getting their house in order by preparing their agents.
You know, Monday is the last working week before the elections. There's a lot of preparatory work to be done, you know, to put in motion the structures for the campaign for the electoral process. You know that by the guidelines, we are supposed to provide agents, and also to the collation center in the ECR office, we have to get our agents there. There's a lot of mobilizations and work that have to happen the last week before the D-Day.
Ahead of the polls on Saturday, while some of the candidates are only seeking to be part of the first 5, others want to win massively.
Frankly, we don't even care about which position we are in. We don't be part of the 5. It just happens that by our rules, we have this situation where we have to go for a special delegates conference, and we are participating in that. But the important thing is that it says 5. So once we are within the 5, which by the grace of God and the belief delegates have the alarm process, we will be, we will then take it off and take it into November 4th, where Alan will win massively and decisively.
The delegates across the nation are responding positively to the message that Dr. Osuofia-Abuto presents. If you look at it, he's a nationalistic person. He is not campaigning on the basis of religion. He is not campaigning on the basis of tribe. Honorable Dr. Osuofia-Abuto's message cut across all religions, all tribes, and all parts of the country. It is expected that he tops across the regions.
We are well prepared, and I think his message has been well received by a lot of the super delegates, and that we will be part of the 5, and that we have planned to go on campaigning immediately thereafter. No doubt about that.
Does he care which number he is in this 5?
If he cares, maybe, but I'm not concerned. As a campaign manager, my job is to make sure that we are in the top 5. But we will actually give a very good appearance and assurance to our actual delegates down there within the 200,000 that we are confident.
The Vice President has been using a two-pronged approach in his campaign. So in the past over 40 days, he's engaged the polling station executives who will be voting on November 4th. So that has been the vice president setting his eyes on November 4th. But within the period, he's also been engaging the super delegates, which is a constituency chairman, the regional executives, members of parliament, National Executive Committee, and the others, who would also vote next week, Saturday, which is August 26th. The focus or the objective is to win both with a landslide victory. And so you can be rest assured that all the effort and energy and work being put in by the vice president and his team is to win massively the 26th August election and even much more bigger margins for the 4th November election.